Oh, hello everyone. I welcome you all in this today's session in which we are going to cover, it's about IELTS writing part 2, but in that we'll be seeing the IELTS writing, letter writing, and that too is the task 1 for the IELTS general candidates. So guys, without a further ado, let's get started with the video. So in this video, particularly we'll be seeing the letter writing. In that, we'll have to look for that what is all about letter writing, what all types you have in that, and what you have to do while catering to that, while writing your whole write-up, what all essential things are there which you actually have to consider. We'll be seeing all those here in today's session. Yes, I can assure you that by the end of today's session, you will be adaptive and you will be proficient in writing your letters, be it any kind, right? So, the very first thing is that, and let me just clarify, this is not for IELTS academic, this is for IELTS general candidates. Okay, those who are not going for any kind of educational reasons, but for any kind of non-educational reasons, maybe job, maybe training, maybe visas, PR, any kind of purposes can be there. But yes, all those students who are there for IELTS general, for these sorts of reasons, they will be having this letter writing in their writing task 1. Okay. In the task 2, it's common. It's the essay writing only. But in the task 1, you guys are going to have these letters over there. So yes, the very first thing is that, what is that word count you have? So the minimum word count is 150 words you see. There is no official maximum count we have. As per the official IDP, we have not been given as such, but yes, there is a, you can say, ideal range being given to us. What's that ideal range? So it's somewhat 150 to 180 you have to keep it to. Okay, keep it within this range, 150 to 180. What happens with this? Let me tell you. Once you keep till this range, you are now writing relevantly only. You are not going irrelevantly writing. Otherwise, what happens if you keep on writing till 200, 300 words? What actually happens is that it comes under irrelevancy of your write-up. So that is why just be within this range, and that is totally fine. Next, what all time you get? See, for the total writing task, we have 60 minutes with us, right? We have 60 minutes for the total writing. We divide it like this. For this task 1, which is the essay, which is the letter writing, we give 20 minutes out of the 60 minutes. Now, to the task 2 of ours, we give 40 minutes out of the 60 minutes. That's how we divide it. 20 and 40. So you have got 20 minutes for this one. This is a tentative time limit which we have divided for ourselves only. This is not being given to us by them, by the official IELTS test. No. They have given us in total of 60 minutes. Now it's on us. How do we cater and how do we divide the 60 minutes into these two tasks? Okay. So yes, we have been given 20 minutes, which is the again ideal range, ideal time. Within 20 minutes, what all you can have? You can have either a formal kind of a letter writing. It can be a semi-formal. It can be an informal letter also. So there are 3 types: formal, semi-formal, or an informal type of a letter. Once you see formal, semi-formal, informal, how will you get to know? Moving ahead, what do we see? So what is that structure of a letter? What is that exact or proper ideal structure which you must always follow in all the types of letters? Is this one. The very first thing you write is salutation, okay? Like dear sir, dear ma'am, right? All those things. So yes, salutation comes at the very first go, and next comes opening statement. In that you write the reason for writing. This is very must. If you skip writing this opening statement, you are not going to have a higher chance of getting a good mark. Why? Because you must always state that purpose, that why are you writing, to whom you're writing, and why are you writing, what's that major reason behind your letter. Now this is the answer actually to this why, that why are you writing. So this is here in this line, in this statement of yours, you just provide that reason, that answer to this why. Okay, this is a must. Next is the body paragraph. These are the body paragraphs which will cover all your bullet points. So in your question, you are going to have 3 bullet points. When I say bullet points, they are kind of if you guys remember about your speaking section, part 2. You have the cue cards in that. Remember that? In the cue cards, you have the prompts written over there, right? So when I say prompts, I only mean with some questions which you have to answer, which is again a must. You must always have a closing statement, which will contain a single line or maybe a 2-3 lines. But yes, you must always have it. And later on, yes, signing off. You just have to sign off by writing your name. Okay? That's how you have to do it. That's the structure. Later, what all types of letter we have, how will we differentiate between them? We are going to see that now. See, the very first thing I would like you to understand is that let's talk about a formal letter type. Let's imagine if it's a formal letter, then what are the things can be there in your question? How will you analyze that it's a formal or an informal letter? By looking at these things. What are they? Who you are writing to. See, if there are some officials, authorities, if there is a company, there is organization, or if there are some strangers. See, normally in the formal letter type, you normally don't know the person, neither personally nor professionally. You just don't know about them. You just know that you have to get your work done. That's something which you know, but you don't know that person, anything about that person other than their company's name maybe. Nothing personally nor professionally. Those all the sort of things comes under writing in formal letters type. Understood? I hope it is clear. Now, for an example, let's take an example. So, let's suppose you are writing to a hotel manager to complain about the poor service. So, do you know who this hotel manager is? Do you know what's the name of this manager? You don't know anything about him, right? You just know his designation. That's it. So, yes, this comes under formal letter writing. Next, writing to a company to request information about a product. No, so here also you don't know anything about that specific person you're writing to. And writing to a government office to apply for a license. Again, you're not sure of the government officials over there, right? So all these sorts of things comes under the formal letter writing. Next, now what is the kind of a tone you guys have to adapt over here while writing? Are these. You have to adapt professional tone, you have to be polite at the same time, and you don't have to be personal, so you be impersonal. Understood? You have to be thoroughly be professional, you can say. So no contractions are allowed since it's the formal letter, so you're not allowed any kind of contractions. Contractions, when I say the short forms, the abbreviations which you make, right? Do not instead of don't. So you don't have to do like this, can't, don't, right? Don't do. Always write do not, full forms. Then next is clear and precisely you have to write. All these tone and style you will be adopting here. Okay. Now if we let's suppose are writing to semi-formal letters. Okay. If we are having semi-formal type of a letters, then in that case what are we going to do? Task 2 will be soon there. Don't worry. Okay. Yes. So who you are writing to in the semi-formal, how will you get to know that it's a semi-formal type of a letter? People we know, but we aren't very close to them. We know those people. Let's suppose it can be your manager, it can be your teacher, it can be your landlord. Now, you know those people, but you don't share a good bond with them, do you? Share a good bond with your landlord or maybe with your manager. At some specific cases, we are not talking about that. In general, as a broader aspect, do we have a good bond with our managers or maybe the landlord? I'm talking about when I say good bond, the close relationship. So we generally don't. That's how they all comes under semi-formal type of a letter. Understood? Now let's suppose your neighbors are there, your colleagues, landlord, local shopkeeper, club member. Now writing to your neighbor about a problem with noise. This comes under semi-formal. Writing to your landlord to request repairs. Writing to your colleague to share work-related info. That's how you get it. Clear? You're writing to your colleague, your landlord, your neighbor. They all comes under semi-formal. Now, what is the kind of a tone you're going to adapt? So, it has to be the polite but slightly friendly also. You don't have to thoroughly be formal over here since it's a semi-formal type of a letter. So, you can slightly be friendly also in terms of tone, having a proper tone. But yes, you can use sort of these contractions over here. I am, don't, can't. Less formal than official letters, but still respectful. Since don't forget that you are writing in the official IELTS test. So you never forget that thing. And you must not just be too over friendly over there. Just try to maintain that balance, I would say. Yes. Moving ahead, we now talk about the informal type of a letter. So in informal letters, how will we get to know that it is the kind of an informal letter which we have in the question? So whenever you share a good bond with the other person you are writing to, maybe can be your friends, family members or close acquaintance. See, let's suppose if I have to write a letter to my friend, that will come under the informal letter. Okay, under the informal letter. If I have to write to some of my family member, maybe my cousin is there, so they all come under the informal type of the letter. Why? Because I really share a good bond with them. I know about them, right? Thoroughly I know them. Personally I know them. I share a good relationship with them. Hence, they are all under informal type of letters. Now, examples can be the questions example. These are your questions example. So, writing to a friend about your holiday plans can be an informal letter. Writing to your cousin, you're writing here to cousin to congratulate them. Writing to your parents about your new job, right? So, tone and style would be going like this. So, warm, professional, casual tone. Contractions and everyday expressions are common over here and can include exclamations like guess what, I can't wait to see you, like that. All these sorts of things you can use over here since it's the informal type of letters. But yes, I would again repeat the same thing, that try to maintain that balance. You don't go over friendly writing your write-up. Yes, yes. Writing to the manager will be under the, yes, Deepika. So when you're writing to the manager, it will be under semi-formal because you know your manager, but you don't share a good bond with them. Okay. But yes, all those people, let's suppose you're writing to a hotel manager, you're writing to a company to get your work done. Maybe it can be anything. So all those sorts of people whom you are just writing to get your work done, maybe it can be a complaint, it can be anything, right? A proposal can be there, an invitation can be there, all these sorts of things. So over there you don't know that person personally nor professionally. So they all come under the formal. Manager sounds like a formal, but yes, manager of course we know, even we know at least the name of that person, right? So hence it will come under the semi-formal. Clear? Okay, moving ahead, we have the advanced vocabulary. What are the kind of vocabulary we are going to use? This is for formal specifically. So, I am writing to express my dissatisfaction with. I would be grateful if you could. I look forward to your prompt response. All these formal sort of things you will be using over here. Okay? All these formal expressions you will be using. Now, coming towards semi-formal or informal. So, in the semi-formal, you can say, I hope this message finds you well. It would be helpful if you could. Or guess what? It's here you can just be a little more expressive while saying, guess what? I can't wait to see you. Take care and write back to you soon or something like that. Now, common usages and tips says that do not use contractions in formal letters anyway. Okay. Cover all 3 bullet points along with the why's reason. Okay, that why are you writing? You have to state your reason at the very first go. So yes, it's going to go like this. and then word count has to be somewhere around 160 to 180. And greetings and signing off again is a must thing. You must never skip greeting at the very start of your letter. Maybe the salutation part is a must. You must always have that. And a closing line and sign off. When I say sign off, I mean that let's suppose if it is a formal letter or semi-formal, okay? In that case, you guys have to write your full name at the end. Your full name will be there. Clear? On the contrary, if it's an informal letter, in that case, you can have your first name only. At the end, you can just write your first name. That's it. Next. Now, sample question. We are now going to see the sample question along with the sample response, just to have the more clarity over here. So, how does it go? See, you stayed at a hotel, but were not satisfied with the service. You stayed at a hotel, right? But you weren't satisfied with the service they provided to you. Now, write a letter to the manager. This line is very important, that who we are writing to. Over here only we'll get to know that what is the kind of a letter we have, whether it's a formal, semi-formal or an informal type of a letter. So, we are writing to a manager of the hotel. In your letter, don't get confused here. Okay, we are writing to the manager but of a hotel, not our own manager. So, we don't know him. Explain why you were not satisfied. These are your bullet pointers. These are the 3 bullet pointers you guys have. Clear? So, first one says that explain why you were unsatisfied. This is your first question which you have to include in your response. This is the second one. This is the third one. I was telling you, bullet points mean the questions you are going to include in your response individually in the body paragraphs. Now, explain why you were unsatisfied. Describe the problems you faced and also suggest what should be done. So, first of all, why you were unsatisfied, describe the problems and also suggest some suggestions that what should be done instead of what they have done or what they have provided you. So, these are your three things. I would have one suggestion for you all over here, that try to be a little more creative. While when I say creative, I only mean try creating more and more points. With this, what will happen? You will be able to elaborate about these pointers in much more efficient way. While writing what all I can write here, you have to be creative. No, this problem has not been done with you. So you aren't sure of anything about it, that what has happened. So you will anyhow have to describe it, that what happened, why you were unsatisfied. So you will have to describe the problems you faced. And then again, the problems you faced. So in a more elaborative way, you have to do this. So instead of just writing directly after seeing the question, spend your crucial 5 minutes in order to make your points. I am writing over here the bifurcation, that how should it go. So yes, you are going to spend about 5 minutes in generating your ideas. When I say generating, I only mean with points. Generate your points in the shortest form possible. You will be having the rough paper with you. Over there, you can just write it down so that you have the clarity that what all you're going to write in your body paragraphs about these pointers. So yes, spend your 5 minutes into that, and then 13 minutes you will then respond in. Okay, you will have the response time, which is 13 minutes, and in 2 minutes you will do what? You will do revision. Okay, yes, here is the bifurcation in front of you. That's how it will go. So when you are spending about 5 minutes, think about the pointers, what all you can write about this question 1, this question 2 and this question 3. More and more points. Let me now show you the sample answer. So here how it goes. Okay, let me just start with the first thing, which is the salutation. So dear sir or madam, you don't know about that person's name, do you? You don't, right? You just visited a hotel and you aren't sure of who's the manager, what's his name. You just don't know anything. Yes, now this is what? This is the why's reason. The reason to why. To answer, the answer to why. That why are you writing? This is a must thing. You must always have this. at the very first go. So what is it saying? So I am writing to express my dissatisfaction with the service I received during my recent stay at your hotel. This is the reason why you are writing. You must always give this at the very first go. Next, firstly, now this is what? This is your answer to the bullet point. This one. Bullet point first, which is explain why you weren't satisfied. So now, bullet point, first answer you are providing like this. That's how I was saying, that's why I was saying that you try and be little more, creative while writing. See how it is written. So firstly, although I had booked a deluxe room, I was given a smaller room, which was not properly cleaned. The carpets were stained and the bathroom facilities were unhygienic, which was very disappointing. Now, this is what the reason of your dissatisfaction. This is why you were dissatisfied. Now, here you could write anything. Okay, when I show you the sample response, I do not mean that these are the only things which has to be there. I only mean that you can learn something out of it. You can learn the wordings, you can learn the structure, all those essential things, but yes, you must not ever learn the exact words, right? Because you could write anything. There could be any other problem also which you could describe. Now, in the next go, we will be now describing about the actual problems. Secondly, the air conditioner in the room was not functioning, even after informing the reception several times. No action was taken and I had to spend 2 uncomfortable nights in hot weather conditions. Finally, the staff was unresponsive to my repeated requests for assistance on multiple occasions. My calls for room service went unanswered, which caused considerable inconvenience and affected my overall experience. Yes, guys, did you guys understand? What did we do over here? We just wrote the answer to this, that describe the problems you faced. So these were some of my problems which I faced. Now I've just created a story. Though in actual, this has not happened with me. I've just created it. At that very moment, I've just created it. So you also have to do in the same manner. Clear? Yes, guys, quickly let me know. Is it clear or not? Or is there anything you guys want to ask me regarding this? Like you could write any other problem also. Multiple problems you could write. There's no problem with that. Okay. Moving ahead, we turn towards the third bullet point, which was about suggestions that what should be done. So yes, here we are providing the suggestions. So I strongly suggest that the management ensures regular maintenance of the rooms and provides staff training to deliver better customer service. I hope you will address these issues promptly. Now here my suggestion ends. Here I am done providing the suggestion and answering to my bullet point 3. Clear? Next to it, we will now sign off. How will we do that? So yours faithfully, since it's the formal letter, you will write yours faithfully, best regards, like that. Okay, be it semi-formal or formal, you will write all these things only. Okay, yours sincerely, all these. Pick any one of them and learn it forever while writing for your semi-formal and formal letters. Now, XYZ means your full name will be there. Your full name will be there since it's the formal type of a letter. Okay. So, yes guys, that's how it will go. Here what was there? It was about 170 words response, which is an ideal range, I would say. You have to keep it within 150 to 180 only, not more than that. Now, the purpose stated right after the salutation, which was a must, the reason to why we stated that. We also stated each bullet point we covered in our separate paragraphs. It should all be, see, overall you must always have 4 paragraphs. First is a reason to why, and then 3 body paras, which will be covering bullet point 1, bullet point 2 and bullet point 3. That's how it will go. And now it has to be short, polite and closing statement must be there. A closing statement will be there along with your name. That's how it goes. Clear? Yes. Okay. Now, what are the tips I would like to give you all? Use varied linking words which are furthermore, nevertheless, consequently. Use them. Use more and more good vocabulary while writing. Now, replace some common words with some stronger alternatives like solve, you can say resolve. Send help, you can say assist. Not happy, you can say dissatisfied, like this. Use synonyms and use a mix of sentence structure. You must use complex structures, compound structures. The usage of the connectors should be there. Connectors you have to use, moreover, although, right, additionally, in order to, all these. So yes, these are some tips I would like to provide you all. And here we are now done understanding about all of them properly. I hope you guys enjoyed this session and this was an informative session. I would suggest you all to practice for more and more questions to get adaptive to all the types. Okay, this was the formal, but yes, the semi-formal and informal will go in the same manner. It's just the formats, it's just the wordings difference, I would say. Format is same. Only the last name part will come to in the informal type of a letter. It will only be the first name you will be writing. And rest of the part, over there you will have somewhat informal tone also, the friendly tone of yours, not the formal type. But yes, somewhat formal and semi-formal are both similar in nature. So yes guys, that was it about today's session. I hope you loved it and we'll see you soon in the very next session soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.